So I don't know if I've ever done a video on like load management, rest, responsibility to fans of playing, and is it okay to sit out some games? Is it okay to not sit out others? All that type of thing. And because this Kawhi Leonard thing has been getting some attention, I figured I'd give my 2 cents on it. So the tweet that I had, I will kind of reiterate here. In terms of Kawhi's health, I don't know why there's this like thing on Twitter right now, mainly through Woj's mentions, which is like people think Kawhi is faking the injury or something, or like someone's being dishonest about this injury. Like the dude was limping in the playoffs, okay? I mean, he sat out a whole year for the Spurs, basically a whole year. He played 60 games for the Raptors, and he was still having trouble in the postseason. And if you do some Googling, it seems like this injury is never going to go away for him. Quad, knee, lower body in general, whatever. So this idea of, oh, he's soft for not playing, or it's not even an injury, like, what? Are you completely oblivious to everything that has been going on with Kawhi Leonard for the past 3 seasons? Not only that, didn't we do this with Derrick Rose years ago when like it was that 1 year where he sat out and there was the back and forth of like, well, he should be playing, and then, other things about all that. So I don't know. People annoy me. Specifically when it's the breath of like, I don't really care if this guy's hurt, or I don't believe that he's hurt. As far as the idea of like, well, is it okay to sit some other game, but it's not okay to sit against the Bucks? I mean, like, okay, can I understand the idea of a team being like, well, we can sit him next Thursday against the Hornets at home, or we can sit him like 4 days later against the Bucks on national TV, both at home, which would give the fans more of an opportunity to see you because they would still get 40-something other chances or whatever the hell, depending on however many other games Kawhi sat. I do think there is some wiggle room there, certainly. At the same time, I'm sure the Clippers have an obscene amount of data around Kawhi Leonard's everything, okay, in terms of his miles traveled on the court, miles traveled just in general, going from one NBA city to another, the amount of stress that is on the thing that has been hurting him for a while now. And there's a chance that they just came to the conclusion, look, we got to set him against the Bucks, especially because they're going to have another game against the Blazers. I mean, you're going from, well, they're all at home, never mind. You're not going anywhere. But that's still just a lot of basketball being played, you know what I mean? So there's a chance that they just came to that. I'm going to trust that the Clippers are making informed decisions, and they're not just saying, they're not just basically throwing a dart at a calendar and being like, okay, you're taking those 3 games off. So, yeah. Now, there's also a conversation about, like, is it the players or the league's responsibility to do right by the fans in the arena, that particular game? I mean, like, yeah, it can suck. I get it. You buy tickets for this game, you're looking forward to it, you find out Kawhi Leonard's not playing. Cool, I get it. At the same time, I just think the player's health is still the most important thing. But I do think there's another interesting thing. It's this idea of, like, the schedule, and how can the NBA do a better job of just making it easier for teams and this sort of thing, Well, I think one thing the NBA, to me, has attempted to do recently is put these big blocks in the season for rest. Specifically when they made the All-Star game, or the All-Star break, a lot longer, which is now, like, if I'm looking at the Clippers schedule, I think it's in February. Like, the Clippers don't have a game from February 13th to February 22nd, okay? Now, for that specific span of time, granted, decent chance Kawhi's in the All-Star game, but whatever. For that specific span of time, that's a great amount of rest for players. That being said, would it not make sense to distribute that time throughout the season? Now, I don't know exactly how many days you'd have to chop off from the All-Star game and then put it through the rest of the year. I mean, that is way above anything I know about this stuff. But I'm going to guess it's possible, right? Would that not be better? The idea of a little extra day-to-day rest as opposed to waiting a long time and then getting a whole crap ton of rest. Not only that, but there's another stretch for the Clippers. I believe it's in January where they have like 5 days with no games. Yeah, it's January 5th to January 10th. They just have like 4 days off. And actually, when I look at the Celtics schedule, they have something similar to that. I think it's in like December or something. And again, I get the idea. It's the idea of, well, we give the players 4 days off. And yeah, that's great. But would it not be better to cut like 2 of those days off and put one of them just somewhere else to make it just a little easier, where instead of playing a game after, whether it's a back-to-back or like you had 1 day off and then there's a game, maybe you just get an extra day off somewhere randomly in there, whether it's in November, December, March, I don't know. You know what I mean? I hope the NBA takes those things into account and they don't just randomly go, all right, we're giving them a big block of time off for the All-Star break, so now we've done everything we can do. Now, with all that being said, I do think it's definitely still going to happen. I mean, it's 82 games, okay? It's 82 games packed into however many days it is, and it's tough. And, I mean, in a perfect world, this is what would really fix all of this, is if the NBA went down to like a 75-game season. But, of course, that's not going to happen because that would be a massive amount of money lost. So, we just have to, or they have to do with what they can, so... Yeah, I guess to wrap this whole thing up, I'm definitely on Team Kawhi Leonard. I think if you are dismissive of Kawhi's situation, I think you're just being a clown. But at the same time, I do think while teams should not prioritize, oh, this game is going to be on national TV, so we'll play you for that one, I think it's fair to at least consider those things. But again, the player's health is the most important thing, so there you go.